Good morning. Sorry I'm late, but I'm here and we're going to talk about distractions this morning as one of the things that we need to take care of if we want to go after our goals in 2025. Hi, my name is Lisa Dublin. A bit of problems this morning with StreamYard, so I went onto another platform. So that's what happened. So good morning to my Watch Radio family. If you're watching me now, just come on in. There's a lot for us to speak about this morning because, I know everybody's excited. Let me just go live on Instagram right now and say hi to the Instagram family. There's a lot that people have to be excited about going forward into the new year, not so? And of course, we want to look at our goals in a special way. We want to make sure that we are ready come January 1st, 2025, or even before. You want to make sure that you are in a place where your mind and everything that you do is streamlined towards this year. These are the things that I'm going to be going after. That does not start on January 1st. You know that? That actually starts right now to start to imagine the future. This time next year, I'm going to be saying, I published a book. I did the course. What else? I bought the house. I saved the money. I filled out all of that paperwork and it got me places. I got the new job, all of the things. What could you be saying this time next year if you took the time from now in November to begin to plan and to go after goals in a very strategic and successful way? That's what we want to talk about. So, if you've been here with me the last couple weeks, can you just tell me if you can hear me first of all? I hope you can. Let's see if it's live on my channel. Let's see if people can hear me over there. But say hi, everybody. Say hi. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, right? We want to make sure that happens, right? Let me just open up the chat right there. All right. So I will be having a workshop on on the 24th of November 20 well this year 24th of November, and it's called New Year New Goals. I do it every year. I've been doing it since 2020 actually, and every year there's an upgrade because I get better and more streamlined and strategic about how I go after goals and obviously how I teach it. And so this will be happening on the 24th of November. I want to invite you to come to this free strategic goal setting workshop. I'm going to give you process, tell you the steps, and give you strategy of how to go after your most important goals. We call them MIGs in my world, in 2024, in 2025, because this is what we're doing. Okay, you guys. I feel like I'm a bit distracted this morning. I'm going to get right into it. Let me share my screen with you and show you exactly where we're going with this. Okay, so I've been doing this for a while, as I said before, and this morning I wanted to talk about actually threats and not distractions. We'll do distractions this morning, but from my experience, when you go after a goal, there are certain things that you've got to cater for. We make the milestones, we envision the thing, we put the vision board together, but we do not stop to do the mitigation. How am I going to deal with distractions when they come up? How am I going to deal with threats? How am I going to deal with weaknesses? Today, tomorrow, and on Friday, make sure you join me here, same time, on the hour, hopefully, where I will lead you through looking at not me, but your own self and identifying each category of obstacle in your life that perhaps has prevented you from accomplishing your goals this year. But with my help, you coming to the course, coming to the workshop on the 24th of November, you are going to learn how to deal with distractions, with threats and weaknesses. Let me just tell you a little bit about definitions, and then we're going to get into threats today because I want to encourage you. I don't want to just like, oh my gosh, these are the things and whatever. No, I want to encourage you, okay? Can everybody hear me? Let me just make sure people can hear me. Oh, there's no volume. Okay, yes. Okay, it's there. Okay, yeah. There are people here. That's great. I always have to I always have to check, right? So, what's a distraction? A distraction is anything that divides or the attention of or prevents concentration. We all have lots of distractions, particularly in this age of social media. But believe it or not, I know some people who are absolutely not on social media. So that's not a distraction for them. Other things might be, however, maybe TV, maybe music, maybe I know somebody whose distraction is actually cleaning the house. Can you imagine that? Like she cannot see the house dirty. My God. Okay, so she's always cleaning, always doing housework, and not actually getting to the strategic goals that she had set for herself. That's a distraction, you guys. As I said, today we are going to look at threats because, like, even my understanding of this concept of dealing with potential threats, it's an external possibility that can negatively affect your ability to accomplish your goal. Go back to 2020, 2021, whatever. A pandemic, another pandemic might be able to affect your ability to accomplish next year's goal. What about, and when I wrote that, I was in the mood of, I am going to become that certified coach. I'm going to learn how to become that paid speaker because I am not going back to the 9 to 5, which is, I think, why I put it there. So it's a little bit of my personality and my situation in there. But if you think of that as a threat, that can be an impetus for you to actually work even harder when you can to kind of, fight against or mitigate against that threat becoming a reality. Changing market conditions, loss of a job, all of these are threats. And lastly, we look at weaknesses, okay? Inability to say no, tendency to self sabotage, to go into imposter syndrome, to not think that you can do the thing. Laziness, too, is a, is a weakness, okay? Listen, I've been saying this for the longest while. Somebody needs to be a coach for lazy people. A lazy person who has conquered and found a way to be productive would best understand how to coach lazy people. I've been saying this forever. That's not me, right? But if you are that person who, yes, you just know your tendencies to be lazy and laid back, but you found a way to make things easier and to find the hacks, you actually have an entire tribe of people that you can coach, that in spite of laziness, that you can do great things. I always say that somebody needs to be a coach for lazy people, okay? But I digress. I digress. Today, we are going to look at just our threats, external possibilities that can negatively affect your ability to accomplish a goal. Let me stop sharing and come back and join the people. All right. So, are you learning something so far? Let me know. Oh my goodness, what happened to my stream? Your stream to Facebook? Oof. Reconnect Facebook. It says it's not going live on Facebook. My goodness, what's happening this morning? Facebook, can you see me? Can you hear me? Let me know. Let me just see what's going on. It says that I'm not going live on on Facebook this morning, but um, let's see if that's possible. I pretty much thought that I was on Facebook, so let's see if that's the case. But okay, yes, I am live. Okay, we're there. So I have a couple examples because my understanding of talking about threats, I want to start with it because I have some new concepts and insights into it. Okay. And, just looking at other people who've accomplished big things, who have had to deal with threats, you realize that the field or that category is broader than I even thought. So I want to break down threats this morning into a couple categories. Okay. Yes, we have the things that I pointed to, the downturn in the economy. What about if you lose your job? What about if, you know, maybe you might be called back into a 9 to 5 and you're not there yet? I know for me, because I was working from home at the time of the pandemic, like everybody else, it was the opportune time for me to develop other skills, even while I did the people's work. Like I did my work, okay? I did my work, but it was like I no longer had to do a commute. I no longer had, the time you take for preparation and all of that, that was gone. So I gained the time that I used to then apply to my future self, which is me now. Here are a couple threats, and I'm going to give you examples of people who have overcome that. You, this morning, you are not going to be discouraged, but rather inspired that in spite of these threats that you might be facing, you are going to go out and accomplish your goals in 2025. Right now, perhaps even you might be letting these threats stand in the way. Let's start with the first one. Do you know that personal hardships are a threat? Yeah. Oh, okay. You okay? All right. So I hope I'm on Watch Radio as well. I think Peter, thank you for sharing. I couldn't get on to StreamYard this morning, but we're good. We're here, and so let's go ahead. Right? Personal hardships stand in the way of us getting to our goals. Personal hardship, financial hardship. People stop going after things because it gets hard, right? That obviously not having the scarcity is obviously something we've got to deal with, right? Like it can stop you, but you can't stop dreaming. Maybe there's things that you can start to do on the dream even before the finances come to continue that part of accomplishing the goal. But some of us let it's very debilitating when you don't have enough to accomplish the dream. I so know about that. But there are still things that you can do in the meantime. Let me give you an example of somebody who experienced a lot of hardship. Have you heard of J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter series? She faced financial hardship, um a divorce, raising her kid as a single mom. Then so much was going on in her life, and in spite of all of those personal hardships, this woman found spaces and places to write. She was writing in cafes. I think it's now a famous place where she was writing, in the UK. But she kept on writing in spite of the personal hardships. My take on this as well is that sometimes the setbacks are literally setups and a step back for you to come back even harder. I have a talk on, where is it? This one is on my Lisa M. Dublin YouTube channel. I've got a talk there about a setup being a setup, a setback is a setup for a comeback. And I want to encourage you to go watch it, because the way that you frame or reframe a personal hardship can literally propel you forward or keep you back. The common thing that we do when we have personal hardships is, I can't do it anymore. This goal is dead. I can no longer pursue it because I don't have the resources, I don't have support, I don't have everything that I need. What if, in the middle of the scarcity, in the middle of the trials of going after that goal, you stepped back and found a way to dig so deep that you ended up propelling yourself so far forward? When I was doing that talk on I should really find it. Should I not, you guys? I should probably find it and put the link in. Let me do that, okay? Let me find the link to that. At least I'll give you the YouTube channel and you can go explore it, okay? Let me just do that. I can do that. It's on the Lisa M. Dublin channel. So if you go there, you'll be able to see all of my stuff. My poetry's there, as well as those talks that I'm speaking about. Okay. So hang on, give me 1 second. And let me tell you, so when I was doing the research for that channel, I realized that a really great analogy was the slingshot. That if you pulled it all the way back, okay, the force with which you came forward, it was way more than if you started at a middling point. And that for me was an analogy of how you deal with setbacks, that you don't just let them take you out, but in spite of that, I have a thing that I like to say, ride the pain, ride the pain, ride it, use it as fuel in your body, in your spirit, to go forward. Ride the pain and use it for you to go forward. Okay, that's what you thought would happen. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna find a way to make this work. What about that, right? What about that? I'm just here trying to find all of the playlists, but maybe I can't find it. Okay. But let me just find the channel for you guys. Nah, I don't think I can. Anyway, so go find the Lisa M. Dublin channel, and then you can perhaps just see all of the videos right there. But that's one way. In other words, I'm saying that is one way for you to deal with your personal hardships. You don't let them get in the way. So I'm saying, in terms of going after a goal, you don't give up because you have personal hardships. You do like the greats have done. Find a way to actually make the hardship fuel your dream, and to find a way. In spite, it's going to be lonely. You're going to feel like you're going crazy, except when you start to see the light, except when you start to realize that the efforts that you're putting in, they actually work. Okay, I found the URL for the channel I was telling you about, so you can go check out my YouTube channel there. Please, can you subscribe to it? Let's get a couple subscriptions in. This is my poetry channel, and where I have all my speeches and so on. The one that I'm speaking about today is also there. It's called "A Setback is a Step Back for a Comeback." So you can watch that and be encouraged. We're talking about personal hardships. What about, do you know, another threat to going after a goal would be our physical and mental health? Yes. And I've got a great example for you of somebody who, you probably know people like that. Do you know that the painter, the famous dead painter, Vincent van Gogh, do you know that he suffered a lot of mental anguish and mental instability? So it interfered with the consistency of his work. But what ultimately happened is he ended up producing from those, I don't know, fugue states or whatever. He ended up being able to use that to fuel the nature of his work. So I'm not saying that we need to go crazy for us to produce good work, but I'm saying sometimes we have challenges. Like, I know somebody who has severe physical challenges. Her body just does not work like normal, healthy people. She has lots and lots of challenges. But when I tell you that this mind and this person, her mind is alive, number one, so alive and so alert that she powers through every hardship. She powers through. When she's up, she works hard. When she can't do it, she steps back. So we don't let any physical or mental health challenges stand in the way. Rest if you must. Get treatment. Take medication. I always tell people, like in my early days, in my 20s, I suffered from clinical depression. That's a thing. It's not like, oh, I have the blues today. Hell no. This was, I fell into myself and I couldn't get back out by myself. So I had to be on medication. And I say that, I don't even know, like, there's nothing attached to that. It just was. And these times were difficult. I could not operate or do life without the medication at the time. And as I got older, as I gave my life to Christ and he filled that part in me, and like that was, it didn't mean that I got off the medication immediately, but it did mean that I began to find my way. And now I am filled with joy. I'm filled with love, filled with, no, I'm just joyful now. Joy is different from happiness. Happiness is, it goes up and down. You see something. Joy is that sense of like just a brook just bubbling within you. It's gonna be okay. God has got you. That's what joy is for me, at least. Right? I don't know what it is for you. Let me know. Hey, Fiona, how are you? But that's what it is. That's what joy is for me, right? And so that is my story. So sometimes you might have those mental health challenges, you might have physical challenges. So you don't get mad. I remember even working with this client, and one of the first things we had to deal with was the guilt of not being like everybody else. And when she came to that realization that, hey, this is my body, This is what I've got to deal with. In spite, when we had to stop there for a while, and for her to say, like, this is who I am. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not being the party pooper having to leave early because I'm super tired. This is just who I am. And in that realization came strength, because if I know who I am, I know how to handle myself. The same way, when you know who people are, then you know how to handle them, and you know how to not handle, you know how to treat them, you know how to deal with them, you know how to dwell with them, how to be relational with them, because you know who they are. That just goes without saying. It's very, very true. So we're saying here this morning, if you're just joining, what's the topic? We are looking at ditching distractions and obstacles and threats on the way to getting your goals in 2025. I'm going to be giving a workshop, as I said, on the 24th of November. It's a free annual strategic planning workshop. You need to be there. You're going to learn those steps that I've been talking about the last 2 weeks, and I'll continue into next week as well. Because though this workshop is free, many people have used it as a blueprint for them to go on to do great things. Write the book, start to go live with their business, gain confidence, and do the exercises for gaining confidence. They have done things like, I finally have a process for sitting my butt in the chair and writing the book or filling out that paperwork. Okay. And the result of it is that a year later, perhaps they get their PR, they get, the things that they could not do before, because the workshop showed them a strategy and a plan, a step by step, simple plan to get there. Okay, here's another one for you. So I mentioned J.K. Rowling for personal hardship. We looked at Vincent van Gogh for the physical and mental health challenges. What about personality differences? Oh my goodness. We are more familiar, I believe, with those as a threat. I have seen personal challenges of differences between people. They can blow up entire movements, can't they? Even this last election almost created a rift in a group that I'm part of, where one person posted something about a candidate for the US elections. Another person was visceral in coming back and saying, take it down. Not everybody here is in favor. And, to the credit of the group administrators, what they did was to leave it out there and ask everybody, what should we do with the post, and remind everybody of like what the guidelines for posting in that group were. And that quelled the whole situation. But many times we never have that check and balance, and you find people exploding and leaving on the table the gold of the idea and the momentum of the movement because of personal differences that could not be solved. Let that not be us. Let not the personalities and the jealousy and the insecurity and the egos, all of those things can come in the way and can stop a movement or a great idea in its path. On the other hand, I've seen people who have continued to working together in spite of differences. And I think that is one of the definitions of professionalism and also of wisdom. I love to bring in the Bible. There's a verse in the Bible that says that you are supposed to be as wise as a serpent and as gentle as a dove. As gentle as a lamb? I mean, coming by grand church, and I can't remember the verse. Oh my God. But the part about wise as a serpent and as gentle as a lamb or a dove, one of them. But you get the idea of having to be able to have that duality within your personality. It makes for you to be able to handle situations in a more peaceful way and to move on with life. So, for example, let me give you an example of when distraction, this threat of personality got in the way of a great movement. Steve Jobs, for a while there, yes, we all have Apple phones or whatever, but for a moment there, that same movement that he started with Apple, he was booted out of his own company because he could not get along with the people on the board. He was booted out, and well, in a sense, people say that because he was what he was able to actually go out and start two other companies. He started Pixar. All our kids know about the Pixar, the cartoon movies, whatever, the animation. Sorry, and he started, I think, another company called Next. So he did that in his hiatus from Apple. However, when he came back to Apple, it was with a renewed interest, renewed ideas, and the company took off even more when he returned to be at the helm. Can you see that? Like how personality differences could get in the way of such big ideas? Let's not let that be us. So, what as you go after your goals, maybe there's a part where I teach about accountability and about having groups. And I've had to learn that you have to first make a goal yours so that in spite of maybe let's say you lose friends, you lose the community, you lose other people who were on the path with you and have decided to go another way, when that happens, you want to make sure that you still have the goal as part of what you do. You want to make sure that your commitment to going after the goal, in spite of the threat of being left alone to do it, it is still sure. And that's possible. Like I think one of the biggest ways I've had to learn that the last while, I think I've said that before, was just in working out, right, and having a trainer for the longest while, and then my trainer moved on, went into another industry, and I came to that crossroads of, Lisa Dublin, why are you working out anyway? Are you going to dig deep and find a way to continue? Because like working out, when you have a trainer, it's not just the exercise, it's a culture that you build, a tradition that you enter into, right? And so I had to spend the time. I'm like, no, Lisa, you're a coach. You're gonna work it out, girl. You're gonna work it out. You're gonna find a way to make it work. And that's what I had to do. I had to dig very deep. I had to be able to find, the strength to go to the gym by myself, do my stuff. Until I found another trainer and moved on and that kind of thing. But that for me was one of the lessons of dig very deep for your goal. Have your motivation so clear and so front and center all the time that no matter what happens around you in terms of the distraction, the obstacles, and we looked at threats today, you will find a way. And so, you guys, I wanted to show you something. Actually, I wanted to show you two things. Hold on for me. Let me pull up New Year, New Goals. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my goodness, I can't, but that's okay. So yeah, because I'm just on this other platform. So first of all, I told you about New Year, New Goals, right? Let me just put that link in here for you, and then I'm going to get out of your hair. So if you are here today, I would like you to go sign up for New Year, New Goals. This is the wrong thumbnail, but that's fine. Okay, here's the link right here. Okay. Go sign up, please, for New Year, New Goals. It's happening Sunday, November 24th. It's a free virtual strategic goal setting workshop. I promise to get you excited about your goals. That's the promise. Not just to get excited too, but to also give you a strategy that is going to work for you. Okay. So 1 to 3 p.m. MST, 3 to 5 p.m. EST. If you are in the Caribbean, and love my Caribbean people, they always show up to support me. Always love my people. And something's happening in St. Lucia right now. We are becoming a country of ratio. Anybody's watching, the ratio of winners to the population is higher in St. Lucia than many other places. What do I mean by that? Let me see. Where am I? Let me just go to that design right here. Let me just move that. Yeah, something's happening in the country, in the island of St. Lucia. Take note that the ratio is the number of, for example, the number of Olympic winners to the population is higher in St. Lucia. The number of Nobel laureates to the entire population is higher. I think St. Lucia is blessed with the blessing is ratio. So what it means for us looking forward, being people who can tell the times that if you see one of something happening in St. Lucia, definitely there's another one. We have two of the Olympic medals. There are more coming. We've got two Nobel laureates. That means there are more coming. Mark this island. Mark my words here today that this is a country whose blessing is ratio. That the ratio of people who are doing things to the entire population will be higher in St. Lucia than in any other place. That's just the blessing of the Lord, and I know it, right? Okay. I also wanted to tell you, look at this, you guys. So, I've coached many people since starting my coaching program in 2021 when I got certified. And my signature program hasn't changed. What has changed, I think, is just the offering, right? You mature into a thing. And I mean, I'm just 3 years in. So, but this is now the rendering of in my head how I see and what I offer if you were to coach with me, how to get unstuck coaching. I wanted to represent it in a tangible way. The exquisite nature of it, the way that you feel when you come into my sessions, your sessions actually, the way that you leave and what you leave with and the things that you can accomplish. I was coaching somebody recently and we had been working like coaching is about the eureka moments. I swear, you guys, like I'm going to go over by a couple minutes because I have to share this. Coaching is about getting those eureka moments for clients, the times when the insight comes unbidden. The insight comes perhaps after the session before or two sessions before, and it's marinating. And then that person comes in, and you're just there like the observer, giving, asking great questions, and that person is playing in that sandbox. And recently, for me, a client just blew my mind. Okay, hey Jonathan, how are you? Just blew my mind because we'd been working with her being open for business. As in, many times when people start business, they are afraid. There are lots of things standing in the way. But a business goes out to get business. The way that you know you have a business is if you have clients, my goodness. And if you're going after clients. And we weren't seeing that. Oh, doing all of the other things, the website, the business cards, like talking to people, just being nice. But if you are open for business, you open your doors. Okay, you open your doors. That's it. And to get to that point, she had her personal standards and we worked on that. But it was a confidence thing, it was a stepping out thing. And I'm good at helping people to see themselves that way. And so we did that work, over a couple sessions. She's very strong. So I coach these pilots. Oh God. I coach these pilots. I understand them. Those strong women who are blessed and have a lot to offer the world. And I get them unstuck, right? And she comes in today. She comes in different, upgraded. I don't know any other way to say it except that as a coach, I've learned to just see those moments, see the moment when the person is thinking on a different level and thus feeling differently and thus speaking differently. And I'm watching her speak and seeing that transformation had taken place some which what way, which we discussed after. And I'm like, this is what coaching does for me. I put out a post yesterday. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but it was a post where this was from years ago, by the way. Hello. Oh, this from years ago. I could probably do like 3 chin-ups now. Okay. I can get back there. That's the goal. But to be very honest, that this was like from 2020 or something, in the where my coach was like, oh my God, on point. Right? But I put up that post yesterday and I was saying that it was an analogy for what happens in coaching, because when I was training that way, all of these weeks before my coach, we were doing the assisted chin-ups all the time. There's a machine that literally helps you to be able to do it if you're not strong enough, right? But all of this time, as my coach, he's watching me. He knows what I'm capable of because he has the knowledge and he knows what he's doing. So one day, come into the gym and he says, we're starting with the chin-ups unassisted. Oh, he told me, yeah, we're going up there today. Well, I panicked because I've been doing assisted chin-ups all of this time. Like, "Oh, I'm not ready for this." And he said, "Trust me, you're ready. Yes, you can do this. You're ready." And I think I just simply, the words were a catalyst for me, which is what I do for clients. Like, yes, you can do it. I've been working with you. I see your strength. I see it more than you can. Like one time, one time I had a client and I was saying to her, you know what? The people around you are going to recognize how strong you are. How do we dress this up? Because sometimes when people see naked strength, it's a threat to them, isn't it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you can, because you're in your strength, you don't see how strong you are and how you're coming across. And so I was like, no, okay, we need to dress this up. What are the 48 laws of power? One of them is you never, ever want to be seen as better or a threat to your boss. So dial back, figure out a way for you for you to be strong and for you to still make the people around you who matter to feel good and to know that you are perceived not to be a threat. So we worked on that, right? But I was saying for the chinner, and because of these words, I when he said it, I just looked up, I leapt up, grabbed the handlebars, and I went up. And I perhaps did like 3 or 4 that first time. And then for me, I was like, that's what a coach does. A coach says to you. And then I had my next personal trainer, the way she leveled me up. She loved me only in the summer. I was running outside doing my outdoor runs during the summer. And I came and I was showing her I did 10K. Miss Lady says, next week, you can do 13K. What did I say? I just had a moment of trepidation. And the same thing, because I've learned to trust the coach. I will choose coaches who I know their stuff, number one, and two, believe in me. That's very important. And that's what I do for my clients. Right? So I said, okay. That next Sunday, Lisa ran 13K because somebody leveled me up. The same thing, I think, like, I believe so deeply in coaching because it has worked so deeply for me. And the way that I coach is the way my coaches have coached me to excellence. For the longest while, I was running at 5.3 on the treadmill, 5.3 per kilometer, whatever. That was the speed, right? And then a coach said to me, okay, from next week, we're going to run from at 5.5. I was like, okay, all right. I tried it the first time. I did 1 mile at 5.5. And then now that's just my normal. Normal for me is 5.5. And that's not even very fast, by the way. Those people who run are like, what's she talking about? But that's okay. I'm in my lane doing my thing, right? And so I just wanted to tell you, if you're looking for that life coach, reach out, because life, especially in this time, life coaching is personal. It's your time. Many of my clients, like, if they miss a session, they will make it up because it's sacred time. It's time that the gift that I give them is attention on you. And no, it's not about me. I have a whole life going on. No, this is your time that you paid for to discuss your issues and to get your answers, to play in your sandbox and to come out stronger for it. Not relying on me, but knowing that, hey, I'm actually strong. I can actually do this. I'm stronger for it. And that transformation takes place. Okay, you guys, my God, look at me talking about coaching and just getting so excited. Hey, Ramona, how are you? Okay, guys, I'm going to get out of your head now. And what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to look at our distractions. I know a lot of people like me have distractions. Like, how do people accomplish anything? My goodness. Like, what are some of the strategies for getting over your distractions? So I want you to start to think ahead of tomorrow's topic. What are your distractions? And I'm going to give you some practical, simple advice on how to deal with those distractions so that when you get them out of the way, or you put them in their rightful place, which I think is even more ideal and optimal, when that happens, you have a clear path from point A to get to your goal, which is point B. All right, we're out of here. We are out of time, and I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, please go sign up for New Year, New Goals. It's happening November 24th, the 1st to the 1 to 3 p.m. MST, that's my time, 3 to 5 p.m. EST. If you are in the Caribbean and you will be joining, then it will be 4 to 6 p.m. because now the Eastern Caribbean is 3 hours ahead of me. Okay. All right. So thank you guys. Hope to see you tomorrow as we continue the conversation about how to go after your goals in 2020.